you can probably hear those fireworks and see all this confetti that is dropping down over our heads. That's because today's episode is an extra special one. Literally today that this episode is dropping, we are celebrating our 33rd wedding anniversary. That means it's been 33 years since this woman's been putting up with me, and we've been walking this journey together as husband and wife. We've been together 37 because we met in college, dated for almost 4 years, and then got married. But it's been 33 years of love, 33 years of challenges, 33 years of standing and trusting God together. And every time we have the benefit of having another anniversary roll around, it's always a moment to pause and really thank God for how good he's been.
Yeah, I'm just so thankful. God's been extremely good to us. And I guess the best thing for me is that this is my very best friend. And we've been through a lot, and I know he has my back, and I know that I can't lose with him. I don't want to just toot his own horn, but
Toot my horn. We ain't mad at you. Toot it.
I do feel like that, with him right by my side and with God with us, that we always win. So it's been a wonderful 33 years, and I'm just happy to be doing life with you.
Yeah, ditto. Don't have a horror story, Been challenges along the way. And for us, actually, most of our challenges haven't been with us. It's been the stuff we've had to fight together, fight against, and stand for. Yeah. And it's just been good to see God be faithful and do what he said he would do. What would you say over these 33 years has kind of been the one thing? I mean, I'm sure we can give a lot of things, but what's been the one thing you say has just kind of sustained our marriage for over these 33 years?
I think just open communication, just trusting that each of us can just keep our word, and we can depend on us being honest with one another, with where we are. I think that there have been times when we may not have known how to communicate what we were feeling or what we were needing, but I think the intent of our hearts has always been to try to be as open and transparent in what we're feeling or what we're going through in every moment.
Yeah, I can honestly say in 33 years of marriage, I have never felt disrespected or dishonored by you. I think you can say, I would think you'd say in 33 years, you've always felt loved by me.
Yes.
Always felt heard. Your opinion has always mattered. I've never just taken off and done a bunch of stuff and came and announced to you, this is what we're doing because I'm the head of the house. And I think that mutual respect and that open communication really has gone a long way. I love you. I think I'm going to keep you.
I love you.
I'm going to keep you.
You're
I'm going to stick with you. Gotta turn the lips around. Act like I'm your big brother kissing you.
Cut.
Here we go. We know that we haven't done everything perfectly, but can I just tell you this? We've been very intentional. And so today's episode is a special one because we want to take time to just kind of share with you what we've pulled aside as 10 things, 10 keys that we believe that have helped us build a solid marriage that has lasted and continues to last and continues to grow.
In Ecclesiastes.
Okay, we got to start.
Wait. I wasn't prepared for my part to be coming up. Sorry.
We have to back up and start over.
I'm so sorry. I got caught
All you got to
up.
do is not say, ugh.
Okay. But I didn't know if I was in the right spot. That's what I meant.
You still could have flowed with it.
Yeah.
I would have been like, I'm going to tear you up.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I didn't know if I was in the right spot. That's
right.
why I was like, okay.
Me? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Because you be whispering.
Right, of course, yeah.
Because you be whispering.
All right, let's start it over then.
We've been married for 33 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at 112.
112.
Okay.
We've got video rolling, audio rolling. We're live in 3, 2.
Well, hello and welcome back to The Blueprint with George and April Davis. You probably can hear the fireworks going off in the background, and maybe you see that little confetti that's dropping over our heads. That's because today's episode is an extra special one. Today's date, July the 24th, is literally our 33rd wedding anniversary. So we are here celebrating our anniversary with you, and we're grateful to God for how good he's been, thankful for 33 years of marriage and 4 years of dating that led up to that. So 37 years altogether of just being together and watching God do some pretty amazing things.
Wow, that's a lot, 37 years, you know. But, I am just very, very grateful. Just grateful to God for you being the one that he sent my way. And I can just really say that it has been the friendship. You're my very best friend, and one that I can count on and lean on and know that you always have my back. And I just really do believe that there is nothing that we could face or have to go through that together with God that we wouldn't win. Mm-hmm. So just really, really reflective of God's goodness over the years and just his faithfulness to me in providing this life that I'm living with you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely can echo that you are my best friend, the person I rush home, want to tell everything to. And I think just that openness and communication and the ability to be honest with one another over 33 years. And it's grown. And I think it didn't start off at the level of transparency that we have today, but as we matured and our marriages matured, I think that ability to be honest and transparent and communicate has really made a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Now, I can tell you that we haven't done everything right, so please don't take this episode as us tooting our horn that we've done everything just right and we've never made any mistakes. We've made plenty of them. And part of what we want to do is help you understand that we've made mistakes, but we've been very intentional. And in building the marriage that we have today, what we want to do in this episode is really just kind of share with you 10 keys that we've kind of pulled aside that we believe have helped us build a lasting marriage. I mean, it's not 55 years yet, but it's 33 years. And that's a long time, and it's been a good ride. And we want to share with you some of the keys that we believe have helped us to get to where we are today.
Let's look at Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 12. It says, a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. So marriage is strongest when God is at the center. So it's a 3 cords, that's you, your spouse, and God. It's not quickly broken. It's not just 2 people, it's a covenant with God. And I just love that it is a covenant and God is at the center of it.
Yeah, and we're going to jump into the keys in a minute. And I'll give you a sneak peek. The first one is what she just said. You got to put God first. But before we dive into the keys, let me take a moment, as we always like to do, and just say thank you to one of our sponsors. We have a number of sponsors that believe in our podcast and want to get this information out to the masses and make sure that you can benefit from it. And so this episode of The Blueprint with George and April Davis is brought to you by Dr. Christopher Williams and Urology Consultants. One of the most important things that we've learned over the years is that long-term success in life and long-term success in our marriage, it requires you got to take care of your health, especially as men get older. Dr. Christopher Williams and his team at Urology Consultants specialize in men's health, providing expert care in areas that are often overlooked but are critically important. Things like prostate health, hormone balance, and overall wellness. Come on, men, let's be honest with ourselves. Many times we take care of everything and everyone else before we ever take care of ourselves. But regular checkups with a qualified urologist are essential for early detection, prevention, and maintaining long-term health and vitality for men. If you want to stay strong for your family, for your purpose, and for your future, don't neglect this area. Take a proactive step and schedule an appointment today. You can learn more by visiting urocoach.com. That's urocoach.com. Once again, thank you to Dr. Christopher Williams and Urology Consultants for supporting today's episode of The Blueprint. Now, let's jump into these principles, these keys. Again, you ask another couple that's been married 35 years, they may come up with a different set of keys. But for us, these keys are the top 10 keys. We want to give you 33, but we knew we didn't have enough time. But the top 10 keys that we believe have helped to add value to us having a strong marriage is, number one, is this: you got to put God first. I know that's kind of cliche, and of course what you'd expect us to say, we're Christians, we're pastors, but the reality is relationships were God's idea. He came up with it. He's the one who said when Adam was in the garden, it's not good for him to be by himself. So he came up with the idea of relationship. He came up with the idea of marriage. And so if we're going to do marriage the right way, we got to put God first. And we can tell you after 30 plus years of ministry, 30 plus years of counseling couples, that most of the times when marriages go south, no matter what the reason is that we say, no matter what the reason is that we put on paper, no matter what the reason is that we say in counseling, the underlying reason why marriages start to fall apart is somewhere along the line, God never was first place, or he stopped being first place. Yeah. The Bible says in Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God. seek first his righteousness or his way of being right, and everything else will be added. So we got to have that mindset that God has got to be the foundation for our marriage, not the add-on. And I can't tell you how many people just want God to be an add-on. They want him to just be a rosary bead, something to bless what they've decided to do. They don't pray during the dating process to make sure this is God. They don't have honest conversations and seek counseling before getting married. So many times we take off, we marry who we think we want to marry, who we feel like we're in love with, and then we ask God to sprinkle some blessed oil on it. But the truth of the matter is, if we really want to have God's best, come on, I'm saying if we really want to have a solid marriage 30 plus years later, it's got to start from this foundation. Mm-hmm. God has got to be first place in the beginning. And all throughout the marriage, we have to keep checking back to make sure he remains first place. Spiritual alignment is what actually fuels our relational health. It doesn't go the other way around. We don't have a healthy relationship and it makes us now pull closer to God. We got to pull close to God, have spiritual alignment, and then it helps to benefit our relationships.
So good. Now, key number 2 is choose commitment over feelings.
That's a good one.
Feelings fluctuate, but commitment stabilizes. Love is decision, not an emotion.
What? Love is what?
A decision.
Not an
emotion.
Well, Tina Turner said otherwise. She said, what's love but a secondhand emotion?
Not true. So love is a decision, not an emotion.
So it's something you wake up every day and
decide.
choose.
You choose.
I decide. And which means on the days when I don't feel it, I still choose it.
Right.
That's good.
Your feelings can fluctuate. You know, I don't want to trust in my emotions. I want to trust in the decision, my choice to love.
That's good.
Key number 3, communicate honestly and often. Ephesians 4:15 says to speak the truth in love. Silence creates distance. Healthy communication builds connection. And I can attest to that with us. If times where, you want to go off in your separate corners, that's what you do. You go off in your separate corners and be silent. It creates distance. But talking is healthy communication. It builds the connection that you so want to have in your marriage all the time. So communicate often.
Yeah, and I've always used this verse, Ephesians 4:15. I call it the golden rule of communication. Speak the truth, but speak it in love. And oftentimes, people tend to do one or the other. They'll speak the truth, and they're just so blunt, so direct that they leave everybody emotionally wounded.
Yeah.
Or they try to walk in love, and I don't want to address anything. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and they end up with a lot of unspoken frustration that never gets addressed. And I think we've gotten better over the years at learning how to speak the truth. I've gotten better at learning how to say it in love. She's got better at learning how to actually admit what she wants to say and actually, don't hold it in and just have all this internal frustration, but actually be able to speak the truth. Now, I will tell you that I got a little angry with her here recently. I mean, it's our anniversary. I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to keep it 100 for y'all today. But I just found out my son and her were on this cruise ship not long ago, and they went to one of these little love and marriage shows, and they asked the question, what's the one little tick that your spouse has that irritates you the most? And I'm thinking of a couple things that I imagine she would say. Now, she wasn't on the show, but they were answering while sitting in the audience. And she had the nerve to say, he smacks his gum. When he chews his gum, he smacks his gum, and it just irritates me. Now, the problem is, we've been married 33 years. I have never heard that in my life. So she chooses to say this in a room full of strangers to our son and has never told me. So when she's standing here talking about communicate honestly and often, I'm telling her, communicate honestly and often. If there's anything else I'm doing that's making you mad, that's pissing you off, you just haven't told me about.
Hey, you got to pick your battles. That wasn't a battle to. I felt like it was worth fighting.
Yeah, but you felt enough to tell my son. Here's key number 4 to having a lasting, strong marriage. You got to protect your unity. You got to protect your unity. Amos chapter 3, verse 3 says, can two walk together unless they are agreed? And I'd give you another one over in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. It says, for this reason shall a man leave his father and mother and shall be joined to or cleave to his wife. You put those two together, you got to have unity in your marriage. In order to have unity in your marriage, a man and a woman, when they say I do to one another, have got to pull away and draw a little bubble around themselves. Doesn't mean that we don't love anybody else. Doesn't mean that we don't communicate with anybody else. But it does mean we're not going to let anybody else outside this bubble get in here and disrupt what we have going on inside this bubble. Right. And I can absolutely tell you one of the master keys that has helped us over the years is that I don't care who you are. You're not coming in between the two of us. I mean, parents, I mean, siblings, I mean, best friends. I mean, even our kids, as they got older, our kids were not coming in between us. And that's important that you protect the unity. And it starts with the man in the relationship. When God put Adam in the garden, he gave him 2 jobs. He told him to dress the garden and keep the garden. To dress the garden means to work the garden without getting any wages. A man should do what's right even if you don't get applause. But to keep the garden means to protect it and keep out all intruders. It is the man's responsibility to protect the unity in the relationship, protect the intimacy in the relationship, protect the feelings of his wife so she's not walking around wounded and bruised. And that means that we got to keep out all these outside voices. Don't let outside voices end up dividing the two of you. Come on, somebody. Don't let your mother-in-law and your best friend and what somebody else said jump in between the two of you, and you're now at odds, not because of something that's happening between you, but because of somebody that doesn't even live in your house.
Right.
It can never be that way. We got to protect it. We have to make a decision to stay aligned publicly and privately. So you're never going to hear me out in public saying something that dishonors my wife, that embarrasses my wife, that undercuts her, that undermines her authority or the respect people have for her. If I have an issue with her, it's going to be dealt with privately. If she's got an issue with me, she's going to share with me privately. But whether it's publicly or privately, we have to do what it takes to protect our unity. Key number 5 is this. We got to learn how to resolve conflict. It is inevitable. If you're married for more than a day and a half, you're going to have some conflict. Conflict might start on the honeymoon. It might start on the wedding night. If you're married for any amount of time at all, there's going to be conflict. James chapter 1, verse 19 is an amazing verse that teaches us how to address conflict. It says, be quick to listen. Then it says, be slow to speak. And then it ends by saying, be slow to get angry. Think about that. Listen a whole lot quickly. Be slow to spout out and say what you're thinking and feeling, and be even slower to take offense, to get angry. You have to make a decision that conflict is inevitable, but the damage is optional. We're going to run into conflict. Conflict is just a clash of ideas. We're going to have some conflict, but we don't have to have damage. We have to learn how to fight fairly. 33 years of marriage, we have had lots of disagreements. In fact, I jokingly say I think we disagree more today. We have more fights today than we did in our 20s or 30s.
Yeah, we do.
Partly because when you get to a certain age, I ain't holding this in no more. I'm just telling you what I think. We're not old people. You know how old people do? They just say anything. But we've gotten to that age, man, where I'm not going to walk around holding this. I don't like to hold it with anybody, because I'd rather you know where I stand, because sometimes I could be making an assumption that's wrong. So I believe in saying what's got to be said and let you tell me if I'm wrong or not. And if I'm right, let's just work through it so we can get through it. And so we've lived our lives that way, lived our marriage that way, but we made a decision to fight fairly. What would you describe as fighting fairly?
Well, I think that fighting fairly is hearing each other out, whether you agree or not, but you respectfully hear each other out. And then 2, you have to be willing to be honest and say what's on your heart. I think for us, I think that you have always been able to just get it off you and say whatever. And I think the reason why we argue more today is because now I do it. And
I don't know if I like that.
So because
I like the version of you in the 80s a little better.
Because I would just hold things in and not say it. But it has been, as we have gotten older, I think our communication with each other has changed a bit, and we're openly fighting fairly together, each other doing it. And it's work. It has been an adjustment, I think, because I think we're at the point of being deeply honest with each other.
Yeah, I think another part of fighting fairly is we don't ever call each other names.
Oh, we've never done that.
Never. In 33 years, I've never called her outside of her name. Now, I'm not trying to toot our horn, and maybe your marriage has been filled with one another calling each other outside of your name. But that just means that if you want to do this God's way, you got to put an end to that.
That's a part of putting God first.
Yeah, because, we got to treat each other the way he treats us. So that means just making a decision that, you know what, I am done letting my emotions get the best of me. I'm never going to call you outside of your name again. Because if you're born again, listen to me. The fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faithfulness, meekness, temperance. Temperance means self-control. That means if I'm born again, I actually do have the ability to control myself. I can stop doing anything I actually want to stop doing. And if I make a decision that I never again want to call you outside of your name, then I can yield to that and ask Holy Spirit to help me. And that goes a long way to fighting fairly. I think another component of fighting fairly is, we've never said anything in the middle of an argument with the intent of hurting each other. I'm not saying we've never hurt each other's feelings, but we've never said something to intentionally hurt. Never said something to get under their skin, or I'm going to say this and I know this is going to make her mad or make her hurt. We never used something that we shared with each other in a moment of vulnerability and then turn around and use that. See, that's the reason why you just met your dad at 44 and you didn't know who your daddy was. Well, she knows how I feel about that. She knows how intensely personal it was that I finally met my biological dad at 44. Well, we've had disagreements after I met my dad. She's never turned around and used something like that she knows is deeply personal and meaningful to me to turn around and use it as a weapon to jab me and vice versa. So we're going to fight fairly, then we have to find ways to disagree, share our opinion, but not do it in a way that's intentionally hurtful.
That's so good. Key number 6, keep dating each other. What started the relationship must be sustained in the relationship. Don't let that dwindle. Don't let familiarity replace intentionality.
Don't let what? What'd you call
familiarity.
it? Familiarity.
So silly. Familiarity. Do not let that replace being intentional. So you got to keep dating each other. Let him keep chasing you, and let yourself be caught. And just be intentional about the relationship. So put the date night, put the date day, put your vacation time, your getaway time on the calendar, keep it scheduled, keep it routine, keep it fresh. And with that, it has to be, I think, too, I'm embracing it, spontaneity. So just some of those things, you just jump up and you just do things to keep it fresh.
Yeah, and honestly, and these aren't ranked necessarily in order. Only one that's ranked in order is the first one. God's got to be first. But if I were ranking them in order, this one will probably be right up there next to that one. And I know it's not deep and spiritual, but when we've counseled couples over the years, almost every time, I wish I could go back and identify each one, but I'd say 90% of the time when we've found couples in trouble, you can take it to the bank. They're not dating anymore. They're not taking vacations. They're not dating. And with all the demands on our schedules, with all the stresses that are put in front of us, we have made it a habit of dating. Every Thursday night is date night. And we always dated. We always went to the movies in the early days. And when kids came along, kids got our attention, and we kind of started dating as needed. And in 2016, we had a real intense family matter, a health matter we had to take care of. We were caring for our daughter, and we looked up and realized we were spending so much time taking care of our daughter and taking care of our sons that we had stopped dating and had gotten to a place where we were starting to argue about stuff that we normally wouldn't argue about. And immediately I realized we got to get our date night restored. And that was 2017 when we started. January 2017, we went back to our date nights, and literally there's been very few Thursday nights since then that we have not been on a date somewhere. And they're not always expensive, they're not always elaborate, but they're always dedicated time.
Quality
time. And I'm constantly preaching this to other men and women, and it frustrates me to no end how many people I tell this simple principle to, and they won't do it. But the couples that do it, I look and they have healthier marriages. They get along better. They fight better because they have love in the love bank by having those times aside for date night. So it absolutely is one of the keys that has helped us in our marriage. Here's number 7. Key number 7, you got to embrace growth and change. Just got to recognize we're growing, we're changing. We started dating at 19 and 18. We got married when I was 23, she was 22. We're not the same as we were at 23 and 22.
Not at all.
It's essentially the same heart and character, but we've changed. Every 7 years, you become a different person. And so we have to recognize that. 2 Corinthians 3:18 says, our faces then are not covered. We all show the Lord's glory, and we are being changed. Watch this. We are being changed to be like him. That means, watch this, you're not marrying a finished product. When you say I do, the version that you marry is not the exact same version that they're going to be. Now, hopefully they're getting better, not worse. But we have to be prepared for change and go through the different seasons of life. And that means we have to work hard to grow together, not apart. One of the dangers that happens in marriage is that couples start growing, but they're growing in different directions. They take on different hobbies. They have different sets of friends. And before you know it, they look up and they're really just roommates and not truly covenant partners.
That's so good. Key number 8, extend grace generously. Colossians 3:13 says, forgive as the Lord forgave you. Grace sustains what perfection never could. Extend grace generously. Try to give the benefit of the doubt all the time. Never think that it's an intentional, you were sharp with me, or you were a bit harsh, that it was an intention. Maybe they had something going on at work, or maybe they're frustrated about something they haven't had a chance to share with you yet. I mean, our lives get so busy, and there's so much sometimes pressure from the outside because of work. I mean, we work together. Thankfully, God's blessed us to be able to do that. But I know that the job carries a lot of stress for my husband. And so I know there are times that, he's got a lot on his mind and a lot on his plate, and maybe something didn't come out quite the way it should have. I don't always just go with, there you go again, and now we're going at each other. Extend grace generously. Say, okay, I know it's not me. I'm pretty sure he's got something going on. Oh, I know what he's got going on. Hey, maybe he responded the wrong way. Maybe I responded the wrong way. Maybe the kids got the best of me today.
What about when I got to extend grace to you, though? Because you just make it seem like I'm the only one need all this grace extended. So talk about the other side.
We're in it right now, guys. No, but sometimes you have to extend grace to me because I'm frustrated, or I got things going on my side that I hadn't had a chance to share with him, or just whatever. Sometimes you just, in a mood, and you guys say, God, I'm going to let them have some space to deal with whatever they're going through at the moment, and then we'll come back and talk about maybe how something made us feel.
And I think it's important too to understand the rhythm of your spouse. Like, there's certain times you can talk to me about anything. There are other times that I don't have it right now. I don't have that box open. And you can start a conversation going on there if you want to, but I'm probably not going to give you the answer you're looking for. I might not respond quite the way that I should. And I think the more you learn kind of how your spouse responds, then we have to pick those moments. Communication is not only saying the right thing, it's saying it the right way and at the right time. And sometimes I could be saying the right thing, I said it the right way, but I just picked the wrong time to try to introduce this conversation. And that's a big part of learning how to understand your spouse and extend enough grace to know maybe they just didn't have it in this moment to be able to have that conversation. So here's number 9. Key number 9. We're heading toward the close, but key number 9 is this. You got to stay physically and emotionally connected. Stay physically and emotionally connected. Don't get disconnected from your spouse. By all means, don't let somebody else come in and gain an emotional foothold in your life that your spouse doesn't have. 1 Corinthians 7:3 says the husband should fulfill his marital duty. And then it turns around and says the same thing to the wife. The wife should also fulfill her marital duty, or not deny her husband sexual intimacy is really what it's referring to there. Intimacy matters, both emotional and physical intimacy. I don't understand these couples that go for weeks at a time. I've heard couples going for months at a time, and they're not coming together physically. If, sex doesn't make a marriage, but a strong marriage should have a good sexual output. And if that's not happening, then we got to go back and ask what's going on. Because when there's an emotional connection there, the next thing that just naturally evolves from that is that there's a physical connection as well. And we have to make sure that that connection is prioritized. We can't get so busy doing all the other things that we don't remember that that's important to our spouse. Especially in the earlier days of a marriage, it's really important for the wife to remember that. Because for whatever reason, God in his infinite wisdom caused the man's sex drive to be real high in his 20s and 30s. And then it tapers some. And then the wife's sex drive kind of kicks into overdrive in her mid-30s into her 40s. And they don't overlap. Maybe because if they were hit at the same time, we have about 500 kids. But it causes the wife to have to demonstrate love and make sure she's thinking about his needs when his drive is high and hers is not as high. Then it causes the husband to have to make sure he's not neglecting and forgetting his wife's needs when hers may be higher than his is at that time. So what am I saying? It's just got to be a priority. Got to be a priority for both the man and the woman to stay physically and emotionally connected. Then here's a 10th one. Again, we could give you 15 more of these, but the 10th key that we want to give you to help establish and sustain a long-lasting marriage is you got to keep a long-term perspective.
Yeah.
Can't just have a short view.
Yeah.
Can't make decisions that are good for today, but that's a bad decision for 10 years from now. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9 says this. It says, let us not grow weary in doing what is right. Which means we can't just do what's right for a short time and then taper off. Great marriages, listen to this, are built over time. There are no great marriages that happen in 6 months. If you've been married 6 months, you're having a great moment.
Yeah.
You build a great marriage over time, over years, over decisions, over difficulties, over choosing what's right when you could choose what's wrong. Great marriages are built over time. And hear this out. We have to make a commitment that we're going to stay committed through all the seasons. Marriages go through seasons, you know. In our early dating years, our early marriage years, when there was no kids around, I'm 23, she's 22, and we got our first apartment and bought our first car together and experiencing all these firsts together. Took our first trip together. I remember we took our first trip out of town. I felt like we were doing something so wrong. Like our parents didn't know where we were. We just out here grown folking. We're being grown folks. But we went through 8 years of just the two of us before we had our daughter, Kerrigan. And I remember we had been together for so long that I used to look at her and say, look, we need some more people in these pictures. There's only so many ways two of us can pose. We took so many little pictures and pose this way and you turn that way. But we went through that season of no kids. Then we went through the season of trying to have kids. It took a while for us when we start trying to have kids. You know, we thought that the moment you stop taking birth control or stop doing whatever contraceptive matter you're using, immediately you're going to have kids. And it didn't happen that way for us. And I remember a season of pain where, month after month, we're expecting that pregnancy test is going to come back pregnant, and it didn't. Yeah. And then you remember when you finally actually took that pregnancy test and it came back positive?
Yeah.
Well, what was that like?
Oh, that was like everything we had gone through. The time didn't matter anymore. It was like we were pregnant and we just sat on the bathroom floor. I know it sounds gross, but we were on the bathroom floor bawling, looking at that pregnancy test saying, wow, we're positive. Yeah.
But that was another season.
It was a yes.
And then there was a season of our first child, and learning how to parent a child. And remember the first time that she had to go back for the doctor's appointment to see her doctor, we dashed out of the house with Kerrigan. We don't have a diaper bag or anything.
She had not one pamper.
We're full blown at the doctor's office, don't have a pamper, don't have a bottle, because we're learning.
We're like, whoops, we left without anything. So yeah.
But it's that you go through that having kids phase, and then you go through the whole season of raising kids, and that's a whole season. Because for a while, I felt a little neglected. But thankfully, our marriage was strong. We had spent enough time together, had taken enough vacations. I didn't take it personal. But when you have young kids, they demand the attention. And they demand the attention that you used to get. And so we went through that season of raising kids and went through that season of teenage kids, went through that season of graduating and sending kids off to college. And now our youngest just finished his first year of college, heading into his second year of college. And so now we're adjusting to this new season of marriage and life after kids. And the beauty, when we start talking about take the long perspective, is we built so much equity in each of those other seasons that now we're at this season of technically after kids. And honestly, it's the best season of all. Not because we didn't enjoy raising our kids, but we still are friends. We still love each other. We actually enjoy being around each other. The whole empty nest season has not been nearly as hard as we thought it would be for her, in large part because we built so much good relationship together. Are you listening to me out there? No. Don't spend so much time investing in your kids and caring for them that you don't remember to care for each other. So why don't you just give them a wrap up?
Let's say some final takeaways. Stay committed, stay connected, and keep God first at the center.
That's good. Stay committed.
Stay connected.
Stay connected.
And keep God first.
And keep God at the center of everything. That's good, man. Oh, so glad that you have been tuned in today. I want to once again say thank you to Dr. Christopher Williams and Urology Consultants for the sponsorship of today's episode. Be sure to learn more about them and learn how to continue to take care of your health at urocoach.com. That's urocoach.com. I want to say hello and thank you for enjoying this anniversary episode with us. We're celebrating. We're off enjoying ourselves as a married couple, thanking God for 33 years. And if this episode was encouraging to you, if it was a blessing to you, maybe it even challenged you, I want to encourage you, share this with another couple that you know needs it, another couple that can benefit from it. And remember this, healthy marriages don't happen by accident. They are built by design.